Hello, good evening, everyone. So my name is Tushan. I'm an associate manager at Slascom. So I would like to welcome you all for the day 4, session 2 of the Digital IT BPM Week on behalf of Slascom, as well as our organizers of EDB, ICTA, FITIS, and also a number of knowledge partners. So today's session is how undergraduates manage their finance in their work life with a special reference to self-financial discipline. So today's speaker is Jude Mutugala. He presently serving as a president of MBA Alumni Association of University of Kelaniya. He's a professional with number of experience in banking as well as in finance. So he's currently servicing as director and group CEO of Sonora Group of Companies. So without taking much of Jude's time, over to you, Jude.
Thank you, Tushan. Good evening, everybody. At the outset, I should thank the Slascom for inviting me to this webinar series for today's program. And I think now I have a difficult task today to lecture or teach about financial discipline to IT students, IT undergraduates, because I know that you all are IT undergraduates and you are basically very tough in technical side, right? Very thorough in technical side. So I think it is at the present context, you should have some kind of a knowledge about financing, balancing, maybe individual, maybe corporate, or maybe entrepreneur, startup, or whatever. Right? Everybody has to have some kind of a discipline when it comes to finance. So just before I start my lecture, I should tell you, we have seen a very good finance manager in our lives. Everybody has seen me, you, or the other, the organizing committee. They have seen, they have experienced, but only thing is they have not thought about it. For example, you just think about your mother. Now, my mother is the best financial control I have seen in my life, because she knows what is your father's salary, what is the take-home salary, right? What should be prioritized, what should not be prioritized, and how much to save, how much to pay as your school fees or what, your bus fare, van fare, what are the portion you are going to spend on your day-to-day meals. So everything she managed, right? And you all are brought up in that kind of a situation. So she is the role model of a good financer, I should tell you, right? And by giving that example, I just my slides are only a guideline. Just don't focus on my slides, but you listen to me very carefully, right? And very patiently. Now, when it comes to finance, right? Now you all are undergraduates, and you will be pass out within another 1 year, 2 year, maybe another 4 years, and you are going to the job market, right? When you go to the job market, there are different things you should learn: how to face an interview, what are the attires, ethics, everything, right? And you should know about how to balance your finance as well, right? Because in this context, in these days, there are a lot of things you want to buy, lot of stimulations. When you go to a modern trade, or when you go to a textile shop, there are a lot of things to buy, right? You should understand individually what is your capacity is, right? Now, say knowing you have enough money to pay for what you want today and in the future is one way to your financial secure. It's also one of the reasons, because you should know to secure finance, you should know to save, you should know how to invest and how to insure your assets, right? So we have a lot of opportunities these days, right? If you have money, you will get a lot of stimulations to buy this and that and that. I have I have come across a good statement. I can't remember the person who made the statement. He says nicely, uh, if you are going to buy unnecessary things at present, you will have to sell necessary things of yours in future. Right? It's a good statement. If you are going to buy unnecessary things now, you will have to sell your necessary things in future. So that is the quote. So what we have to do, we have to identify what to buy and not to buy. Now, especially I should come at this contest to the purchasing power of you have, right? So you have to identify what is the salary you get and what you are going to spend, right? Just think about now everybody, I think everybody is using credit cards, right? Even I use, right? You also must be having a credit card, right? If you get a credit card, to go to the bank and apply for a credit card. If you are working somewhere, they will consider your salary, and they will take your salary and they will grant maybe 5-6 times of your salary, the limit of the credit card, right? But the credit card, if you don't use it properly, right, that will kill you. Credit card is a good product, right? Whenever we want, right? Whenever we doesn't have money, we do not have money in our hand, you can use it, right? But if you use it in a wrong manner, that will be a disaster. I'll give a small example, right? This is it's very important you have to know these things. Now I'm doing consulting to about 2-3 firms, and one person from a company, he's the CEO of the company, right? He's a good friend of mine. He came to me one day and he asked me, Jude, I have 2 million worth of credit cards, 4 credit cards, right? And I am paying huge money. And I have a deposit also worth of 2 million in the bank. What is your advice to give? Right? So I just explained to him, credit cards, total value, 4 cards, 2 million, 28% rate, they are calculating the bank interest, right? For this example, I can very well remember the amount. He's paying 50,000 rupees as interest to the bank for a month. And he used to deposit every month and 130,000 rupees for these 4 cards. Once he deposits 130,000 for these 4 cards, he's sending his drive and depositing, right? He's having only a purchasing capacity only for 70,000 rupees or 80,000 rupees. 130, you have to deduct 50,000 interest, banks will eat your interest, and only 80,000 you have the purchasing power, right? So I did a calculation. I did a calculation for 2 million. He's getting for a month, if you put a fixed deposit, he's getting about 14,000 at the bank rate, right? Today's you're not going to invest in finance companies because banks are very secure, very stable. So finance companies there may be risk, right? And then he's getting only 14,000 against the deposit, but he's paying 50,000 as interest. So what is the point of keeping the cards? So I told him immediately, withdraw your deposit and settle the cards. And he's saving 50,000 bucks. And he's depositing 130,000 for credit card. This 130,000 cash, ready cash, he can use to his purchases. So see what is the difference. So these kind of things is finance balancing. discipline. So he was not disciplined at using credit card, because when you are using a credit card, you buy something from a card, you have 52 days credit period, and before 52 days you have to settle the full amount. Then you are not going to pay any single cent to the bank. When I was a banker, I had a boss. He was the head of the department at the card center. He was always telling us, he's using a credit card, but never pays a single cent to the bank. So if everybody is like that, banks will go at a loss. So that is the way you have to use, because our people now, just say now you guys go and take a credit card, and when you have the purchasing power, the capacity, you don't know what to buy, you don't know what not to buy. So you have the capacity, you buy, right? And then you buy, and then cards reach just it's to the top level, and you are maintaining only the minimum balance with the interest. You put 10,000, bank will deduct 6,000 for the interest, only 4,000 you have to. So it's a disaster. So you should be very careful when you are going to the job market, you do a job, you're getting a credit card. It's good you have a credit card. Very smart. But using it, you have to do it very smart. So that is just an example. So coming back to financial discipline in yourself, right? Self-financial discipline. Now say spend less by trimming day-to-day cost. Spend less. I don't say that you have to be stingy. You have to spend to the right place and for the right thing, right? And before that, we'll have to have some kind of a plan. When you're getting a salary or when you're getting a bonus or whatever it is, right? See, write down how much money you receive from your salary or bonus, benefits, reimbursements, and other sources, and compare that with your expenses to ensure you have enough money to cover. Okay? So that you have to see first. I mean, you have to have some kind of a plan or some kind of a budget. When you say budget, it's not a big thing, right? Like your mother doing, she knows what she's getting, she knows what to spend, she knows she should give priorities, right? And likewise, you have to have a budget. Now, for example, say you're getting a salary at the month end, right? 30th or 25th or whatever it is. Now, normal scenario is, I also can remember when I was a teenage, like remember, when the next month 25th, we are getting the salary on 25th. Next month 25th, you can't run because salary is gone, disappeared. So no planning, no budgeting, and we have to take from home for our expenses. So you should not do like that, because you all are IT undergraduates, sorry, and you all have some kind of a organized brain. Focus on this IT technical side and hardware, software, whatever it is, right? And at the same time, simultaneously, you should have some kind of a knowledge about what you're going to do with your money, right? How to save everything. So write down a small budget. It should not be a comprehensive budget. You just say how much I'm going to spend on my tuition or bus fare or fuel or whatever. How much are you going to spend for my entertainment, right? You have to have entertainment, right? And how much I'm going to spend on my clothes, right? And so you have to have a budget, right? And you have to have some kind of a thing in your mind that you should save something also. Why we are saving money? We are saving money to use it at the difficult time. If you have some money saved in your bank account or where, in a difficult time, you no need to beg to anybody. You don't need to ask from a friend, ask from your father, mother, or brother. You just can go to the ATM and withdraw your money and use it for the purpose, right? So first thing you have to do when you get into the job market, when you are going to do a job, getting a salary, have a plan, have a budget. Plan in this is a budget. This is what I'm going to do with my salary. Then you have to think now. Once you done the budget, you have to think how I'm going to trim my day-to-day cost. There are a lot of means and ways to do that. So you identify areas to save, such as on your cell phone and cable television plan, or by planning meals and groceries to avoid takeouts, lunches, and last-minute ordering. So you have to plan everything. Normally, when we were teenagers, when we were I was doing my first job in when I was 22, 21. So we are, when we are getting the salary, we don't know what to do. So big money, right? I was a banker, so bankers are paid well. So a lot of money, don't know what to do. But that was only for a few months. First month is like that, second month is like that, third month like that, fourth, fifth months we have a lot of expenses to meet the salary. So that is not good. That is not good. So that experience also I had. So you have to have a plan, and you have to work according to the plan. Now here are some ideas for trimming everyday expenses. You just give a thought on this. Use resources such as community event listing to find free or low cost events to reduce entertainment spending. Those things you can do. Now last 2 months, what happened? No entertainments, right? People who go and have go to a restaurant and have a drink, no such kind of event, right? And no weddings, no parties, no purchasing of clothes. So automatically the nature has given a very good lesson to us. That is also how to plan your finance. Now, even though you know or not, you have done your plannings for the last 2 months now. So that is a good example, right? So you have to trim, you have to curtail your day-to-day cost. And look at this, cancel subscription and membership you don't use. Now there are a lot of people, now you also might come across, you have membership but you're not using. Every month, every year, there is a subscription fee. So those things you have to find out and curtail. Because if you are not using it, you have to set it off. But there are people who have credit cards. They are not using credit cards, but they keep it in the pocket because if they want to, I have to use it, and they are paying subscriptions. You have to think twice whether you are going to do it or not. Okay, and there's another point here. Give yourself a cooling off period. When tempted by non-essential purchases, wait a few days. You may be glad you passed already to save it up. Well, you should not hurry, because sometimes you might get the stimulation to go and buy a cell phone. Right? Now, new Samsung cell phone is introduced, S20 or something. So a lot of people are very interested, right? And one of my guys working in my company in the finance department, he got a S8 phone, very nice phone, very sophisticated, good phone, right? And he used to he wants to sell this and purchase S20 phone at about 165,000. And I asked, he just came and asked some advices from me. I asked, what is the buyback of this S8 for 30,000 bucks? How much you bought it? 125,000. How many years? 3 years. So purchasing for 125,000 a cell phone after 3 years, trading it for 30,000 and buying another phone for 165,000. Do you think that is right? Same thing is happening. That phone also a quality phone, you get a lot of good pictures, 4 megapixels or whatever it is. So why is it necessary to buy? you should think that that 150,000 or 175,000, if you save it, right, and if you can use it for a different matter. So when you get the stimulation for those kind of things, think twice. Just have a cooling off period. Keep quiet and see, think, and automatically that idea will be dropped by yourself. That's good. If it's not necessary to buy these kind of things. I think you agree with me. And the other dimension is eliminate unnecessary cost. Make a list of your current bills and their due dates, and pay your bills on time to avoid late payment fee and all. I have come across a lot of people, they have credit cards, they don't meet the minimum payment on time. You know what is the charge if they miss the minimum payment? That is 1,000 rupees. Some banks they are charging 1,500 rupees. Sometimes the minimum payment is about maybe 3,000 or 5,000. Sorry, but they are missing it, and the bank is charging 1,500. So those are unnecessary costs. You will have to eliminate those things. And sometimes you will not pay your electricity bill or water bill on time. So there will be a fine, penalty. So those are unnecessary things. That is why I always tell, have a budget, act according to the budget. Then you will save money, eliminating unnecessary cost. So there are a lot of examples like that. When you are in the market, when you are in the industry, when you go to the job market, when you go to the industry, you must be having, maybe you must be in different industries. Maybe in finance sector, maybe in banking sector, maybe in marketing, sales as marketing sector. But everybody likes to have, everybody likes to show off, right? And you should be like that. You should be smart and know you have to have some kind of a balanced forecast. But at the same time, you have to think about your pocket also. If something is going to hit your pocket, that will hit you as well. Okay, so budget is the best thing. Working according to the budget is the second thing. And thirdly, eliminating unnecessary cost. So I have given an example, card due dates and all, and utility payments. So you have to think about it. If you want to pay a tuition fee or school fee, if you don't pay on time, there will be a fine. So why are you going for that? Why you are paying additional money? And when you are going to buy something, you have to bargain it. You have to go to the correct place and get the correct price and buy it. You have to be very careful. So that is called your financial discipline. Then if somebody sees also, he will feel that, okay, this guy is very conscious about spending. That is not stingy. That is not a bad thing. It is going out of your money, your pocket. It's your hard-earning money. Now, I don't know whether you all are on into a job or industry or whatever it is, but when you start earning, my dear students, when you start earning, you will feel the difficulty to earn money. Nobody not gives the money to you. So you have to earn, you have to work hard and earn. So you have to be very careful in spending your money for unnecessary things. I will move on to the next slide. Well, find ways to pay less interest on your debits. Now that's a very important topic. Now see, sometimes you may go to the bank and ask a loan. Maybe when you start working somewhere, right? When you are in 20-25 age, you are learning, right? You are developing your academic side. You are learning. You are getting experience, and you start working, right? And you must be having a plan, right? Okay, when I'm 25 or 26, I should buy a vehicle. When I'm 28, I should get married. Likewise, you should have dreams in your life, no? Right? So all the dreams are depending on your financial abilities, the financial pattern you have, the net worth you have. That is very essential. So when you are in that stage, you go to the bank and you ask a loan, maybe a personal loan or vehicle loan or whatever it is, and you have some credit cards also, right? And you are getting a bonus from your employee. You are getting a bonus in the month of December, right? So you're getting a bonus, and what you are going to do? What you are going to do, right? Now, say today's savings interest rate in the banks is, I think, is in the range of 6.5, 7%. Right? If you deposit your money in a bank, you get 7%. You say 7% per annum. Just say if you are depositing 100,000 rupees in the bank, you get 7,000 per annum, and you divide it by 12, you get 583 rupees for a month. But if you are going to get a loan from a bank, they will charge 15%. A personal loan, 15%. And if you are getting a credit card, they will charge 28% per annum, 3% per month. Right? So you have to think, getting this 100,000 and depositing it to a bank, and you are keeping, and you are very happy because I am getting 580 rupees for a day, per month, or 7,000 rupees annually. But you have to think, you are paying how many times? I mean, maybe 5-6 times more than that to the credit card. You see, now if you calculate, if you have 100,000 credit card, you are paying at 28%, 28,000 for a month, per annum, and for a month, 2,333 rupees. Where are you getting only 590 rupees? So what is the best option? What is your discipline? You get this 100,000 rupees, settle your credit card. Right? So you're saving about 1,700 bucks, or you are getting this 100,000 rupees, and if it is a long-term loan, maybe 10,000, 10 years or 7 years loan, those should be kept quietly because it's a long-term loan. When you are earning, you are going to pay, right? And it is at maybe 12%, mortgage loan 12%, 15%, maybe 1%. But credit card is not like that. So when you are focusing, you have to find ways to pay less interest on your debts. Say if you borrowed something from a guy, and you are borrowing 10,000 bucks. These things are happening. Right? These things are happening. If you want buy something or whatever, you ask from a friend, give me 10,000. There are people who don't give money freely. They give 10,000 at 5% interest rate per month. So when you are getting money to your hand, in what sort of manner? Maybe a bonus, maybe a commission, or whatever. You are getting a lump sum. You have to think, right? Okay, what I'm going to do with this? You have to cover the high interest cost debts. Maybe your credit card, maybe your outside borrowing from a third party, person who is going to give money for interest, and things are like that, etc. So that, of course, you have to have plan. Find ways to pay less interest on your debts. So there will be a win-win situation. You're covering 100,000 credit card, and you are happy because you are saving 1,700 bucks for a month. So just let's go through these ideas given. Focus on paying off debts with the highest interest rate first, that I have discussed with you. Keep up with required payments such as monthly minimum on all your debts. You have to allocate required payments. You have to allocate. If not, you are missing the payment and you are getting a fine. Or consolidate your debts into an all-in-one. That means if you can have a bank account and give standing order instruction to this to transfer money here and there on time, that would be great, because you are getting rid of penal rates. Okay, I think you can understand what I'm saying. And then set clear goals to help accelerate your savings. Now, in today's context, now you know what is the inflation is. Now we have an inflation rate, maybe I'm not very sure these days, maybe 5% or 4.8% or 6%, whatever it is, right? Inflation in the sense it's reduce our income, interest. Now say you get a lump sum, you get a bonus for 100,000. You're going to the bank and put it in a savings account. Then you're coming home and you think you're very happy that I'm going to get 7,000 rupees after 1 year's time. And you don't know 7,000 you have to deduct the inflation rate. This thing's inflation rate is 4%. So 7% deduct 4%, only 3% is your gaining. You go home and happily wait. You get 7,000, but the value of the rupee is coming down because of the inflation, and you are getting only 3,000 rupees, the real value. So you have to find investments, maybe not a savings account, maybe a fixed deposit. Now you should understand what is a fixed deposit and a savings account. Now savings account is anytime you can deposit, anytime you can withdraw. And because of that, banks are paying low interest rate, maybe 7%, 6%, or sometimes 4%. Some banks, they are paying only 4.5%. Fixed deposit is a deposit you are going to dump in a bank for a particular period. I mean, say 6 months, 3 months, or 1 year. But I advise you, as a young generation, when you get some money, when you go for jobs, you might be getting good jobs because you are IT professional. You're going to be IT professionals in future, right? If you are investing money, it's a part of your financial discipline. It's a part of your budget, right? If somebody can save every month, that is a good habit. But you have to select what sort of product you are going to save. Now, if you are saving in a fixed deposit, the best duration is 3 months. Now they have categories. They have 3 months deposits, 6 months, 12 months, then 2 years. 2 years, 24 months, 60 months. So 60 months is 5 years. Too long. 5 years is too long. And 5 years they pay big interest. Maybe they pay 15%. And 3 months they pay 7%. But why I am saying is to invest on a shorter period. It is very healthy and riskless. Because say, depositing in a bank for 3 months, that bank will not go bankrupt within 3 months, because it has to have a lot of indications and a lot of pre-talks, right? Not overnight. There are banks have collapsed overnight. In Sri Lanka also we have experienced, but it's very rare. So 3 months period, if you're investing your money, that will be great. Maximum 6 months. Maximum 6 months. And when you are investing your money, you must be getting a little money. Maybe you can afford to invest, you can afford to save maybe 10,000, 20,000 bucks per month. But don't put that money in the same basket. I mean, the same place. There's a good saying, don't put your eggs in the same basket. No? So put the money in various banks. There are 27 commercial banks in Sri Lanka. 27 or 20. So you select the 1 or 2 banks and put your money. And always you have to call the bank and follow up the interest. If you are getting the interest monthly, you have to follow up. So getting the interest to the deposit, you have to follow up. Please never stay without following up. That is the main problem our people are doing. So if you have a good financial control, I mean, if you have a good finance control, discipline in yourself, you have to act accordingly. You have to call them and ask them whether I'm getting this, because sometimes banks and finance companies they reduce your interest rate. You don't know. You're getting 5,000 for a month. Next month, when you see the passbook, you're getting 4,900, 100 rupees decrease. Deducted. Because when you ask why, you have decreased the interest rate. So then you can argue. If the central bank is not telling the banks to reduce the interest rate, they can't. They can't do by their own. Right? So every 6 months, central bank giving a rate. So banks has to act accordingly. So likewise, you have to be very vigilant. You have to talk to the bank. So coming back to the savings, it's a part of your financial discipline. Every month, maybe if you can't save every month, maybe once in 3 months, put some money. You must be having a tank full of water, but if you don't have a glass full of desire to save, glass full of desire to invest, or glass full of desire to secure assets, then we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything, because you have to have some kind of financial background when you need, when in the difficult time. So set clear goals to help accelerate your savings. Write down all the things you are saving for, then work out how much you need to set aside each month to reach your goals in the time frame you want, then pay yourself this amount each month as if it is another bill. So when you are going to save, you think it is a bill. You are going to pay the bill every month. So think as like that. So every month you are going to pay 5,000 rupees. You put it to your saving, you put it to your fixed deposit. Okay, so savings and fixed deposit is like that. The fixed deposit you can't withdraw anytime. If you put it for 3 months or 6 months, there's a contract, and if you want to withdraw it, bank will give, but they will not give the agreed rate. So you are going to lose. So those also you have to keep it in mind when you're balancing your finance in your day-to-day life. Whether if now I'm getting 100,000 rupees to my hand, you want to use it within another 1 month's time, 30 days time. What happens if you go and dump the money in a fixed deposit for 3 months? You're very happy. You're getting 7,000, I mean 7.5 or 8% for 3 months. No? But you should understand that you are going to use that money after 1 month. So if you're going and dumping it in a fixed deposit, you're going to be a loser. Because when you ask after 1 month, they will pay the rate lesser than the savings account. That is happening. That is how banks are acting. So better if you foresee that you are going to use it for this 100,000 for next month, go and put it in a savings account. So that kind of balance, that kind of discipline, that kind of idea you should have. What to do and what not to do. Now I think you know now what is a savings account, what is a fixed deposit, and the savings account you can withdraw at any time. Fixed deposit you can't withdraw at any time. So these kind of things you have to keep in mind. Make sure to use the correct habit. And we'll move on to next thing. Don't pay more tax than you need to. Now there are people they don't care. Sometimes they get the pay sheet to your hand. You see you have the income tax pay, or when you're earning, you have to pay withholding tax pay or whatever it is. Pay on your earnings. Right? Sometimes companies find the HR department or finance department making mistakes. You take the salary receipt and you put it in your pocket and going home happily. Sometimes they have deducted more. So you have to see, you have to get the rate, the employee tax rate, and you have to see the EPF an ETF, when you are getting a pay sheet to your hand, this is your pay sheet, this is your money, your hard-earned money. So you have to analyze it and see whether this is correct. Now, if you are entitled to EPF payment, EPF, 12% paid by the company, 8% paid by the employee. So you have to do the calculations and see. And ETF, I think about 3% ETF. So you have to see your pay sheet whether these deductions are correct. Right? So don't pay more taxes. Sometimes the companies, entrepreneurs, they don't keep proper accounts. Right? So because of that, when they go for paying taxes, the taxpayer or the auditor, whatever, they get all the other unnecessary payments, and they make a big account and pay a lot of taxes. So you should have some kind of idea about it. Now you all are individuals. No, you don't want to talk about the companies or this thing, but individually, that is your pay sheet. Just have a look at the pay sheet whether deductions are correct. So what I want to emphasize is don't pay more anywhere, even maybe taxes or anywhere, even for purchasing something, don't pay more. Always try to bargain, because nobody is trying to give a single cent to you free. You have to earn and you have to spend. Now look at this, used to online banking. Now these days, now I think last 2 months during Corona season, a lot of people, right? Maybe sometimes you may also have done these things. They activated their online banking. They activated their online banking, and they did a lot of transfers. Right? So when you take online banking, you can get rid of a lot of commissions. Sometimes if you want to go to the bank, and there's a cost now. You're going to the bank, transport costs, waiting in the queue, precious time you are spending, and you are depositing money, whatever. But try to get online banking, try to get used for it, and you can easily do the transaction. You can pay your electricity bill, you can pay your water bill, sometimes you can pay your credit card bill, whatever, and at a very easy platform. We all are transforming, digital transformation is there. So get used to it and schedule future bill payments. You can do it by the phone. Then you get the reminders, and on time you can pay. Sometimes because you are very busy, you won't be able to remind your credit card due date. And when the banks calls on you, you understand that it has been overlapped, and you are paying 1,500 more to that. So this kind of thing you have to avoid. Let's look at this. Save for retirement now, regardless of your age. Now, if you just say, if you think that you can't, I mean, you're setting up a goal, I mean, a plan or budget or whatever it is, but if you see that you are difficult to maintain this, go to your father, go to your mother, or maybe go to your boss, and just get their advices. Get their advice and reduce your what you call stress, because people who are stressless, if you get people in today's context, a lot of people are under stress because of these financial issues. Maybe they owe something, and maybe because banks are calling, outside borrowers are calling, right? Calling from the leasing company. So if they don't, because they don't have a budget, they don't have a what you call plan, program, and they are missing that. So you go to somebody and ask, and then they will help. You have to release your stress and set help to setting goals. You have to set goals now. When you're working, you are earning, and you will get your salary. So you have to have some kind of a goal. Like I said, saving, investing, insuring your assets. So then only you can build up your net worth. there's something called personal network. You can build up your personal network because, I mean, when you are sound financially sound only. So you have to go do these things. Develop a customized financial plan. Prepare strategically for life's financial milestones. So you need to plan. Now, if you want to pay a tuition fee or course fee or whatever, you need to plan. Now, next year, this month I have to pay this amount. So plan your savings on that. So it is not difficult in your life, right? So if I'm going to summarize all what I have discussed today, just make sure you are reaching your goals and effectively addressing the financial challenges in your life. As I told you, you have to have a plan, a budget, a forecast, what you're going to do, and you should not buy unnecessary things, and you should have an understanding what are your debts are. What are the debts you have at high interest rate, high interest cost? Example, a credit card. Right? So you have to think now. Like I said, if you keep on using the credit card, 100,000 limit credit card for 1 year, you are paying 2,333 into 12. So you have to take the decision quickly, make the decision quickly. When you get 100,000 lump sum to your hand, quick decision, settle the credit card. You're saving 2,333 in months to come. So likewise, you think, and when you are depositing, when you have excess money, you have to have a deposit. And what deposit you are going to have, whether you are going to have a savings, whether you are going to have a fixed deposit. There are some other investment products also. You can go for a treasury bill, right? And you can go for a savings coupon, right? So there are a lot of things, but savings and fixed deposits are the easiest thing, and it's very flexible. So think about saving money. And the other thing is, don't go and buy unnecessary things. Now, people like you, right? You are very, very, very thorough in IT technicalities, right? So you should have some kind of a knowledge on what to buy and what not to buy. A lot of people, because they have the purchasing power, they buy all these things, unnecessary things. Remember, you will have to sell your necessary things one day if you're doing that. So always try to curtail. Always try to curtail. And look at the high cost debts to cover that. Right? And savings. And then only you can grow with a sound financial background. So I think I have taken 15 minutes time. So if you have any questions, you can ask any questions in banking terms, in any question, right? In financial terms, what is the rupee foregone value or whatever it is, right? If you don't understand, you can ask any question from me, because this is this is some kind of a vast area, financial management and credit management. But I try to deliver it very simply. What are the main tips you have to do to have a well disciplined financial discipline? Have a budget, a curtail, trimming your expenses, identify what to buy and not to buy, do savings, right? And make sure to get rid of the highest interest debts. So those kind of things, tips, very small tips, maybe 5 to 10 tips. Keep it in mind. Then you'll be able to mold yourself to have some kind of a financial discipline in your life. Tushan?
Dude, we have, I think, 3 questions. So one thing is, which is good for fixed deposit, banks or finance companies? And I think it goes with the second question as well, and asking which is more profitable.
Right. Now, finance companies and banks. Finance companies falling under non-banking financial institution, and banks are falling under licensed financial banks institution. Now, why financial institutions are paying more interest rate and why banks are paying lesser interest rate is depending on the cost of funds. Because finance companies' main bread and butter is soliciting deposit from the customers and lending at high rate, right? So their stability is not like bank. Stability not like bank. Now we can very well remember about 1 week back, they cancelled the finance company license. Right? So many depositors has gone and put their deposit in the finance, and not like the finance. There are some other finance companies also, Selinco, FNG, guarantee, lot of things. So better my advice is when you are investing, invest in a bank, a good commercial bank. There are number, I mean, good commercial bank in the sense, maybe commercial bank, Sampath Bank, HNB, Pan Asia, deposits in a bank. Finance companies are giving high interest rate. Don't be greedy for high interest rate, because there are a lot of examples we can see in the society that people are crying on their hard-earned money because they can't have them. The companies who are bankrupt, finance company, they are not in a position to pay the depositors money. So we have to be very vigilant and very careful when you are investing. So select a bank. That is my answer.
So I think we have a couple of more questions coming up, Jude.
Yeah,
so the other one is, can you explain more about 3 months fixed deposit? And the 3 months deposit, I think interest is low. So that's the question.
Yeah, the banks has several categories of deposit. 3 months, they have 1 month deposits also. 3 months, 6 months. Because of the tenor, bank is paying more. Now, say if you deposit money for 60 months, that is 5 years, bank can use that money for 5 years, right? And bank is paying maybe 15% to you for that deposit, and they lend that maybe we talk about 100,000. They lend that 100,000 to another borrower, right, at 17%. So they have a margin of 2%. Just example. So if the tenor is more, that means the bank can use your money because you are not taking the money back now for 5 years. That is guaranteed, assured, fixed. So they pay more. 3 months is a short period, so they pay a lesser price. Now normally today's context, 3 months rate is 7% or 7.5. But when it comes to finance companies, they pay 3 months, maybe they pay 11% or 12%. High rate. So you have to think why they are going to pay high rate other than banks. You have to think, because high rate, high risk. Banks low rate, no risk at all. So you can dump your money and sleep quietly, happily, because no risk at all. So that is how this, because based on the tenor, the interest rate is varying. I think you understand this.
Okay, there's a lot of questions coming up, Jude, I think. So I think.
What is the idea? Somebody asked, what is the idea in investing half of savings in a stock market? Stock market is good, but these days stock market is not functioning up to the expectation. Stock market is good, but stock market is also you're dumping your money at a risk. If you have money that you don't want to use for years, maybe 5 to 6 years, you don't want to touch, you can dump it in the stock market, and whenever the prices go down, you have to be patient and wait. And when the price is up, you can sell and have a profit. But we can't say what is the tenor. Not like bank. Bank is guaranteed 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, you are getting the money. But stock market, we don't know the fluctuation of the stock market. So you have to study well the stock market. It's good, but you have to study well and invest. I'm not telling not to do. It's very good because I also have, I've been in the stock market sometimes back. We can earn good money, but it's at a risk. Tushan, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Jude. I think we have another 5 minutes more. There are a bit of questions coming up. So if you can, I'm sure, I'm not too sure whether you can answer all the questions that's popping up.
There's another question. Has the central bank imposed any official charge on online purchasing during this pandemic? Up to my knowledge, no, there are no charges for online purchasing. You can do online purchasing, they don't charge additionally. But when you purchase from your credit card, some merchants, some vendors, they charge 3% on your credit card. So that you have to be very careful, because that banks are not charging. The banks are charging from the vendor because they get a new business. That is how the bank is charging 3% on the credit card payment. But vendor is also charging from you. So it's a burden to you. That is happening. That you have to, you can't argue with the vendors, right? But there are some vendors who are doing that. But central bank has not imposed any charges on online purchasing. Somebody is asking, if I have excess money, where can we invest to earn money? Yeah, easily you can invest to earn money in a deposit. Or like I said previously, a stock market, or in a treasury bond. Over to you, Tushar.
Right. Thank you so much, Jude. So sharing your knowledge and expertise on finance. I know we have a lot of questions, but with the limited time frame, I don't think we can answer all the questions that pops up. But thank you so much, Jude. So that's come to the end of our day 4 of the Digital IT BPM week. So tomorrow is the last day of the Digital IT BPM week. We have 2 sessions coming up tomorrow. One thing is Introduction to Machine Learning from 4:30 to 6, and then at 6:30 to 8 we have a panel discussion on making workforce ready post COVID-19. We have an expert panel coming on board and sharing the insights. So stay tuned tomorrow, being the last day of the Digital IT BPM week. And also thank you so much for joining in, and have a good night. Thank you, Jude.
Thank you. Good night.